how we can inculcate these ideas in ourselves, in our generation. And when we say our generation, these generation are rather becoming proactive to become or bring any system. They are struggling with deism and immanence. These immanence and the transcendence are the main concept, where they understand one thing, they can accept it. And when they struggle to understand something, this thing exists either in Quran, in Sunnah, or in our Aslaf. And if they cannot understand this thing through transcendence, they disagree with it and deny it. And that's how they become away from Islam or Deen. So what would be the starting point from them? So rather than become the part of deism or atheism, how they can become the effective or active person to bring this system which you are talking about.
Let me give you an example.
And one last thing, when at the starting point, Islam say, Quran say, "Avalam yakfihim anna anzalna alaykal kitab." Book is already there. Still we are confused. What would be the starting point for us in this country? Thank you.
I personally believe that people in Australia or America or England, well, especially Scandinavia, zoom in, man, zoom in. Especially Scandinavia. I'll tell you why I said Scandinavia, okay? Because most people think America is calling the shots, but no. Scandinavia is calling the shots on what? Psychology of our Muslim child. Not just Muslim, every child. They're calling the shots, they're orchestrating it really well. In about 10 years from now, you're going to see Norwegian and Finnish, well, not Finnish, but at least Swedish, as one of those languages daughters and sons are going to be speaking through Netflix or whatever you're going to learn it from. They're actually going to be pulled towards it. Okay. School systems and your educational norms are going to be set by Scandinavia. Just a little word to the wise. Now, your question is simple. I personally believe that Muslims in Arab or Turkey or Pakistan, India, or wherever the Muslim majority is, not India, sorry. India is not a majority. But India has a flavor of so many, 350 million Muslims in India. So I'm not going to just call it minority. But Muslims in Indonesia, Pakistan, Arabs and all of that, they are going to take their sweet time because of the 2 or 3 blocks at their intellectual and emotional core. They're going to take their time. And change is going to happen from them, because overseas Muslims are not enough, sorry. Even if all the Arabs, all the non-Arabs combine overseas and they do whatever they can, they're not enough in number to bring a bigger change. If Muslims in Arab and Africa and Indonesia and Pakistan, they combine or they start changing, it's going to happen like this. Because 90% of us are still in Muslim lands. Now, but the problem is, Muslim land is a depleted land in 3 different realms. Number 1, intellectual core, not just money. Money is number 3. Number 3 is money. Resources, the least amount of resources we have is Muslim lands. Okay. The least amount of intellect, Muslim lands. Okay, that's the problem. Overseas Muslims can solve right away. Pakistanis cannot solve it in Pakistan, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a Pakistani. We should understand where the problem is. If I'm not going to admit the stick is broken, I'm not going to fix it. So kids in Canberra, better light the torch for kids in Islamabad. Better. Because you have the handicap right now. Right now, you are exposed, you're well structured. I'm not talking about mannerism, because Australia has way better mannerism than Pakistan. Okay? If anyone wants to do tazkiyah, they should bring their kids for 2-3 years. Their kids will have awesome tazkiyah and then they take back a belief system and everything. Okay. I'm talking about that knowledge set, that exposure, that aperture, that general IQ. And then in those fields which actually matter, you train your kids, especially daughters. Train your kids in STEM fields which are going to take over. As soon as enough Muslims enter into the intellectual world, for example, name any 3 Muslims who have won the Fields Medal. And I'm not saying that's the purpose of life. No. I'm just saying it's a little test going on in the world. Everybody jumps into it. Any 3 Muslims? Can you believe that? Can you believe that you guys cannot tell 3 names? And you're in Canberra. At least you know what a Fields Medal is. So Muslims are not entering the Fields Medal. I'll tell you what's the problem. I'm not here to project mathematics or physics. I'm here to project Quran, right? The problem is, you only follow the book of the guy who's calling the shots on the guys. If your alpha is not holding the Quran, you're not going to hold the Quran. If your alpha is holding, what's the word? But the Bible, you're going to hold the Bible. If your alpha is holding mathematics, you're going to hold mathematics. Whatever your alpha is, when a superior psychology comes in, every inferior psychology mimics it and starts to become that superior psychology. That's basic common science. Not science, science. Everyone wants, that's why I asked you, if given a chance, Muslims jump into the, what's the word, STEM fields, and with this current psychology, they're going to the STEM fields. And I'm telling you, overseas Muslims are going to jump into mathematics or physics naturally, because probability says that. Even if you don't want them to, they are still going to pick up physics or chemistry or maths or biology, right? And computer sciences. And some of them, one of them is going to feel like the Iranian child. She's like the most wonderful human being that came in from Iran and just won the Fields Medal, right? So someone else is going to do that. But they're not going to project Islam. You know why? Because they're going to be chasing mathematics for the sake of mathematics. I need you to understand, my purpose is not STEM. I want STEM as an instrument, because I know how psychology works. So if a Muslim child tells the world that I found this mathematics, the urge and the surge of mathematics through the Quran, then people are going to follow the Quran because of its credibility of mathematics. That's what I want our kids to be. You guys are halfway there. I'm not talking about Canberra. Halfway means you are not those people who are ashamed of Islam. I swear to you, you will be, if you do not change the definition of self-esteem and self-worth right now. Because your kids will be confused and their kids will be ashamed. And we have started the confusion, the ball of confusion right now. Ask any child. He's going to know way more about the identity he relates to, which has nothing to do with Islam, than the identity he relates to, which has everything to do with Islam. 1% of the Muslim household, 1%, is actually training the Muslim on the Prophet ﷺ seerah. 1%. And Hussein ﷺ said, there was not a man, a boy in child who was not trained on the Maghazi. Not a boy left in Arab who is not trained on Maghazi. You know Maghazi? Yeah. That's the model. That's, you know, I just today or maybe yesterday night, this CNN or Fox, this black guy and this Alan Dershowitz fighting with each other, and they're claiming that, Palestinians are trained to hate Israeli Jews. Look at the school curriculum and they're showing kids their videos, you know, even though literally every school in Israel does that. Okay? And Palestinians don't get trained on how to hate a Jew or how to kill a Jew. They actually are indoctrinated, the Jewish kids. But you know, this what's his girl, Hannity or whatever his name is, this newscaster. And Alan Dershowitz is, as usual, being himself. And this black Harvard professor is running for president of America this time. He's the one who's, you know, defending he's not saying that, you know what, I'm hollering to the Muslim. He's saying, you know what, call a spade, man. When a Palestinian child dies, nobody cries. And this time you're making up these 40 children dead. And everyone's crying. I think child is a child. So it's a neutral stance. I'm not for that guy. What I'm saying is, as soon as I heard that clip, I saw that video, I was like, hold on. Are you telling me that you know that this basic psychology framework is applicable and is being done somewhere. So a child needs to be taught, and that if it's not a child, or if it's my age or somebody else, it's not going to work. So it has to be a child that has to be trained at the right age on the right emotional spectrum, so that the values and the whole emotional makeup is set up. And if it is set up once, it's done for life. So the technique is there. Everybody knows it. We just don't do it. You know who does it? I'll tell you, Aslam, who does this? YouTube. And YouTube is not going to train your child Seera. He's going to train your child Kim Kardashian. And whatever is related, the whole algorithm. The algorithm is not spread around. And even if it does, for example, even if it does go into Islamic literature, this is what he's going to get. He's not going to get the real and right answers. That's a vicious circle. And all the Muslim turbans are going to be hanging around him, and he'll be like, oh, you know what? I'm doing everything right. But nothing's going to happen. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. I need physicists and mathematics from your households. I swear, they're the pawns in the game, I'm telling you. The real king on the board is your son or daughter. You know who's that? That child is going to be the philosopher, who's going to bring all the Muslims together in the ideology of Islam. He's going to use the mathematicians and the physicists and the biologists. She's born, I'm telling you, maybe this is the girl. Look at her. Maybe, maybe she is it. Because we need a child of this age. Because I need that 20 years of learning momentum. Because right now, even if I start right now, I still need 20 years. So if I get 20 years, I'm not going to survive. She has, inshallah, way more than 20 years. I might as well just give her the momentum, make her the philosopher, and she's going to torch the whole, show the light to the whole world. But I'm not using this child's age as a factor. I'm treating her like a 6-year-old. Every woman is.
मेरा भी related question है, आप अगर ले लें तो वो आपका थोड़ा addition हो जाएगा कि आप एक psychologist, मैं उर्दू में बात करूँगी, एक psychologist होते हुए भी आपने relate किया immigration को और हमारी self esteem को as an immigrant, जो शुरू में जब मैंने connect किया था, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि हम अपने बच्चों को कैसे उनकी self esteem strong कर सकते हैं, जबकि हमारी अपनी self esteem strong नहीं है और हम मतलब first generation जो कि overseas आए हैं. आपने कहा कि 2-3 generation के बाद वो self esteem खत्म हो जाएगी.
True. Listen, I'll give you a formula for self esteem. It's not my formula. It's not because I'm a Muslim or anything. It's a non-Muslim formula. It's called Viktor Frankl. Okay? Listen to me. I'm going to be very clear, neutral. If Allah is not the reason why you do everything, then you better not have any self-esteem. Then you're becoming narcissist. You're becoming Satan in Pharaoh. You need to understand that. You're not supposed to have self-esteem unless it is God-oriented. You have to do everything for Allah. In Islam, the concept is very simple. Wala ul bara. What is wala ul bara? Anybody? Think about it. You haven't heard about this? Wala ul bara? Yeah. Who's saying it? Well, no, that's the phrase. In Arabic, it means I love for Allah and I hate for Allah. Okay? I love whoever I love for Allah and I hate whoever. I am going to be close to somebody for Allah and I'm going to be away from somebody for the sake of Allah. Bara means barat. Barat means, to let go, let's like abstain. And wala means walayat. Dosti. Okay? Walal bara. So, self-esteem is what? What is self-esteem? Walal bara, central core, self-esteem. So, I'm just telling you this right now. Unless you know the Prophet ﷺ, unless you know him, because he's the only example of true God orientation. So make her Muhammad, otherwise please do not give her self-esteem. Because if she gets that other self-esteem, like Kim Kardashian self-esteem, then she is going to be the problem for everybody else. Her esteem is going to bulldoze everybody else. You understand me? I'll show you some women and men with self-esteem and no Islam. You think they don't have self-esteem? Of course they have self-esteem. You think Pharaoh did not have self-esteem? Oh, awesome self-esteem. So self-esteem is not the purpose. The purpose actually begets self-esteem. Purpose is the purpose. Self-esteem is not the purpose. Self-esteem is a byproduct, which is of course necessary. Unless we have self-esteem and self-worth and self-confidence, how dare you walk the streets of Canberra as a Muslim? You know, those black people in the 70s had a million more times self-esteem in slave America than Muslims right now in free Australia and free America. Imagine that. And we are not even 1% in the criminal registry rate that the blacks are in the American registry rate. Most of the crimes are committed by that community. And still, they're not ashamed of the fact that I didn't commit a crime, and I'm still going to stand my ground. And here, as a Muslim, I'm the first man I'm going to change. You know what today I found out? Today, I found out that there's so many Muslim Australians who have not registered themselves as Muslims.
Sir, this is a related question.
Did you know that? Everybody knew that in this room? There is a sizable chunk of Muslims who have told Australia that they're not Muslims.
Sir, this question is also kind of related, but it's a collective question, so I'm asking on some people which are not here. So basically, it's how to deal with the downplays and mocking that women, especially professional young parents, who choose to stay home for parenting reasons. How do we deal with that?
You're being mocked for staying home as a woman?
Yes, we do. And we get downplays. And this is a collective question.
That's something new surprising for you guys, just like I? Yeah,
and this is a collective question.
No, it's not. Everybody's denouncing it. Do you think women are being denounced in Australia for staying home as Muslims? I don't. That's a surprise for me.
This is a collective question.
So that's an exception. That's not a rule. We don't. It's not a rule. You are going through that, no doubt about this. But
it's a collective question. Yeah.
I mean, I think professional women who are not working.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. Are you telling me that in Australia, women, well, you guys, Muslim women, I'm going to shrink the sample by calling Muslim women. Otherwise, general women can also be applicable here. That you guys are being ridiculed for being home, ridiculed for staying home and taking care of your kids. It's okay, don't be so loud. I get that you are two people. Raise your hands if you know that this is what I'm talking about. You guys go through some sort of battery. People call you useless. You don't have a job, you're a useless sloth. Okay. Yeah. By whom? By whom? By women?
Well, it's both ways.
नहीं आपको औरतें तंग करे आदमी? Yeah. मुझे तो आपने देखें मेरे दिमाग में घड़ी मेरी बंद है. You tell me the break, I'll break because we're gonna break now because I've taken enough questions. Listen, I gotta go to. Let me just give you a schedule. The macro schedule is we're gonna be in contact for coming together in social media only, like Zoom sessions only, and I'm going to be sending you the next sessions from Melbourne and Sydney and Perth and all the sessions on those groups. And so that you can know what happened after this, okay? After this, because I'm going to add on, well, not add on, I'm going to build up prior to this and add on a lot of into this in Sydney, because I got to build the context, because they didn't attend this session, so I got to build this context. But in Melbourne, it's a totally different, inshallah, session. Totally different session. It's a concept that is the same, but I'm angling it differently. And I might just take it to Perth with the angle of Melbourne. So I have to leave right now. The group will have all the questions that you will have. Just write it down. And I will definitely be a part of that group myself, that WhatsApp group, so that you can ask me directly. I am a part of no WhatsApp group anymore. This will be a WhatsApp group first this year for me, so that I can attend to you, because this is an awakening tour. I need to be aware of what you guys are asking. I will be coming in, inshallah, at least once a month for 2 or 3 hours on Zoom, so that all of us can come together, not in this room, but in your own comfort of your own homes, that we can talk, and you can come up with multiple arrays of ideas and suggestions as to how to improve that next step that I'm going to propose, or you can propose, and we can discuss and improve that. So, any question before the namaz break? Then we will not just get a namaz break, we will take a Sydney break, okay? What I have is a long drive. I am not flying, I'm driving there. And I have not slept for the last 48 hours for you guys. I couldn't even sleep even if I wanted. I tried last night, I just couldn't. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot of times I miss out on my next word because of this reason.
Hi. Yeah.
No, you can ask a few questions, it's all right.
One more question, I promise it's the last one.
No, you're being the mic though.
Okay, so my question is, what knowledge or teachings can we give our children or for the future generation or the young generation with what you have talked about today, in perspective of...
Don't take the mic out.
In perspective of the psychological and the other teachings you have given. So yeah, that's...
Okay, I'll tell you.
And
I'll tell you a list of things that you're a mother?
Yeah, I'm a mother.
Yeah,
so
I'll tell you what a mother, in the first 5 years, in the next 5 years, and the next 5 years. I'll tell you a general perspective.
Other than role modeling and teaching the way of life Yeah,
don't worry. There's some certain things a man cannot do to his kids in terms of build up. I cannot do. That's the job of a woman. And she's gifted by Allah so that she can deliver that expertise that she has, that competence. And then there's certain things that a man can do which you cannot, okay? Don't try, don't get tired. But that comes after the 12th and 13th year of a child's life. We become real fathers after the 13th year, which we don't, by the way. We've absolved ourselves from the duty. After the 12th and 13th year, we need to take him in the ship and make sure that he travels with us every day. Okay? In the next 6, 7 years. After he's 17, 18, 19, you're not supposed to be in his ship, nor is he supposed to be in your ship. Okay? But we don't do that. We don't model a child like this. We make sure that our child stays with us for 20 years, and then he becomes my biggest advocate, my biggest lawyer against whatever is going to happen if something happens to me. So you're treating him as like a business asset. Okay? That's mighty selfish of you, and that if we're just selfish, I would have been okay, because I'm used to selfish people, everybody is. But that's malicious. You're killing the capability, you're ruining the fabric of that child's not only innocence, but the bigger purpose as well. Muslim children are not supposed to grow up to protect their mothers. That's not the purpose of Muslim boys. Muslim boys are supposed to grow up to protect all women. Okay? You are raising Muslim child to protect you against other women of the family. His family. And you know that, it's all right. You're a pupa of somebody, So we have gone through this. That's why we never respect women. You know why? Because our woman, the mother, disrespected the other women, our pupos or whoever, or dadi, And then all of a sudden we were like, okay, it's not every woman, it's just one woman that I'm supposed to protect. Okay, you know what you're doing? You're killing the capability of your own Muslim son. And then you make sure he watches Urtagal, and all of a sudden, you know what he goes through? I'm a lower inferior being. Because I can't even do the math on how these guys are thinking. All Urtagal had was a good mother. Nothing else. A fair mother. That's the power that you have, which we can't possibly replace, because the child is not going to be with us. We don't have wombs or the cradles or the patience or the temperament to raise a child from 0 to 10 or whatever age that you can easily do. Okay? Yes. Last question, please.
Sahil, one more question. Can I just ask a question?
Sure, right after her. Yes.
To join to raise the kids, but I'm thinking I'm fine without that. Okay. Yeah. In my my observation is saying that if for 12 years only the woman is raising the kids and most of the duties are performing by a mother. 12 years, the Pakistani man. After 12 years, it is very difficult to engage a Pakistani Muslim man or husband, partner to engage in raising the child. So what strategies, how we can engage them?
Your husband?
I'm at a stage, I'm having difficulty.
Your husband? You want to engage your husband?
Yeah.
How did you engage him to get married to you?
It was an arranged marriage.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. After that, you engaged him plenty.
It's not.
Listen, I'll tell you something, honestly. I'll tell you something. Forget psychology, just common sense. A man is the easiest prey for any woman. And you can't even prey on your own man. That's your incompetence. Make sure you understand that. A girl or a woman who is going to be half as competent as you are, because he's not going to know anything about him, is going to capture his attention and engagement 24/7 right in front of you with half the wits that you have. You have all the data about this guy, and you still cannot capture him and engage him?
I can, but not for the kids. I can engage him, but he is...
Oh, we know that. That's what I'm saying. You have a noble purpose, and we know that you can engage him. We just want you to think about the child and make sure that you understand the man's psychology. Now, most men that I know, most Pakistani men that I know, they treat their wives as their mothers. I keep telling them, why did you get married, man? You should have told your father to get married. You wanted a mommy. Why did you get married? Psychologically, all you wanted was a mommy. Then you should have asked dad, why did you get another wife? Because I like to, obey orders and, be subservient. That's what classical man-child is doing right now. He's just not living up to his potential of, and you know what, most women, you guys want a leader in the house. You need the leader in the house. You judge him for not being enough leader as a man, as a fair, true, highly scoped leadership material that you want in a man. Actually, you throw a lot of sarcastic comments, which provocative speeches come from wives about men not being enough men to their husbands. And that actually is, pretty hurtful, actually as much as it can possibly get. So you want the men to be men. But when they want to be men, other than the scope that requires, them being men around you, all of a sudden you want them to be women. And not just women, your daughters. You want your husbands to become literally like your daughters, like no masculinity altogether. Just, remain in this box and be a man in this box. That's not how manhood works, okay? This is supposed to be a very wonderful creature, this man. Look at him. Wonderful. All the progress in the planet has been done by this creature, not this creature. All the progress, all the inventions, all the science, all the space science, all the mechanical science, all the industry, this guy. Not this guy. And you want to lower the potential of this guy? Use him, he's a perfect slave. For the biggest good of progress, no, as a son, as your sons, not as your husbands. He's a perfect candidate for the progress of all human beings, your daughters, their granddaughters. I'm trying to wake the woman in you. You need to understand that. Zero inventions, zero progress, zero literature, zero intellectual acumen. Nothing comes from the womankind. Yeah, very seriously. Actually, so serious that I'm crying about this. Actually, I can. I'll tell you why. Because if it were not that general, we would have had at least noticeable examples. Give me 3 Nobel, forget Nobel Prize, but that's too high. That's too high. Let's just lower the threshold. Which is a woman famous for her intellectualism? Oh, no, hold on, let me finish the question. I'm going to make it very easy for you. That's it? That's it? That's what you got? No, I know. I want girls to argue. See, I'm not, listen, I need you to argue all your life. I'll tell you why. I do not find enough girls arguing. Okay? When you say that in 1,000 years of this history of human beings have achieved this and that, okay? We all know that we mean men. And I'm not proud of it because I'm a man. I have daughters. I need women to be, at least, if not more, than at least significant contributors to the progress of human beings. Forget 50-50 or whatever. I don't care. It's not a competition. But you didn't even enter the competition if it were one. One writer, you want to compare the list? You want to give me 10? No, you can't. I'll tell you why. Oh-ho. No, keep going. Why did you stop at 2? Why did you stop at 2? Keep naming names. Because that's all you got. No, give me more names. Oh, I need more names for the sake of my daughter's name is Hijab. Listen, you're not listening to my question. I'm helping you. My daughter's name is Hijab. I need more names for Hijab. There are not enough names. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you entered this campus late. All I'm saying is God gave you bigger brains. And we happen to use it better? No, we didn't. Look at the moral compass of the man. We're not using our brains better. The fact is, we're not even using it, as much as any other animal is using its brain for, given the fact that, whatever proportion of brain it got. And still, I don't see enough girls in the battlefield, especially intellectual, especially towards the progress of the bigger numbers. Okay, you're not here to have babies. You're here to make great human beings. Otherwise, this is going to happen. Look at us. Look at us. Can't even cross the street without getting confused as to where is my morality. Where did it go? Did I even have it to begin with? Can't argue myself out of any culture, ethnicity, creed, philosophy, ideology. Can't. Imagine the irony of that guy who gets inspired by every YouTube video. Imagine. How low can that guy be? He gets inspired by every single category of videos. So this is a problem. You know how it started? Because standards are too low. The benchmarks are too low. Okay? I hope and I pray more women jump into the calling the shots on how to raise IQs and raise the IQs. And I'm not talking about girls as smartest girls in the world. No. I'm talking about girls wise enough to write about how to raise the IQs or make smart people, let alone girls or boys. I'm talking about contribution towards invention or improvisation, at least, of how to maneuver ourselves out of these problems that we're stuck in. If not intellectual core, then at least in the social clusters that we've already isolated ourselves into. We can, and women can easily, because you know what your experience index is, your spectrum is way, way wider. You could have given a way quicker solution because you feel the problem way deeper. And you know what? We're just hoaxing it out, but still giving out solutions. Hoaxing it, but still giving it. And sometimes, the shoe fits, and, the bullet hits the target, and, we claim the throne, and then all of a sudden, patriarchal this and patriarchal that. No, that's not going to jive with me. Patriarchy did not step on you. Anyone would have stepped on you. You didn't rise up. That's what I'm saying. And Islam gives you enough of an arsenal to fight the intellectual fight. You have examples like Aisha bint Abi Bakr, who, when Abdullah bin Abbas, the greatest of the scholars, comes in and he shows his confidence, and Aisha bint Abi Bakr says, you're not going to teach me on how to think about Islam. I'm going to tell you of what Islam is. Okay? Because he's talking about the Quran, Surah Najm and Miraj and the Prophet ﷺ seeing Allah Azza wa Jal, and she says, listen, you're crossing a line which only a non-Muslim would cross. I don't care for your intellectual core, because you're underestimating the power of belief over the power of intellect. This is how simple, I'm going to make it to you, that if you have your self-worth, self-esteem developed as a woman or as a man, in this case as a woman, doesn't matter the biggest scholar of the time. The biggest scholar of the time comes in, you're still going to stand your ground and teach him a lesson. And he says, she did teach me a lesson. Ummul Mu'mineen taught me a lesson I'm never going to forget.
The lady stood up in khutbah for Umar ibn Khattab. She corrected him.
Oh yeah. Umar ibn Khattab, the Umar ibn Khattab, which a regular man would just shy away and like, I can't even face him, let alone argue with him. And this girl stands up and he said, and not just one, Khawla did that. And you know what he said about Khawla? That I'm trying to evade Khawla every time I see him. So I need confidence. That sister, that little girl, what's her name? I'm sorry? Anha. I need more Anhas, stirring the whole thing up. We need them. You need them. I have daughters, so I need her, but you need them. So that, the snowball starts rolling and, you all of a sudden become, that's what useful is. Somebody says useless for whatever category that you were. I'm complaining, you're useless, or you are, if you're not mentally, intellectually activating other people and getting the things done. Prophet ﷺ said, if you're today is not better than yesterday, you have not embraced Islam yet. I'm paraphrasing, of course, he used the word moment. A moment is a moment whose tomorrow is better than today. There has to be a progress meter and there has to be a visible change. What kind of change? We don't even measure change. And you know what? I swear, I'm telling you, this guy, boy, grown guy, he said, sir, now I pray 5 times. Yesterday I wasn't. God, are you kidding me? That's not today or yesterday. You were not even a Muslim yesterday, man.
6:23 now. Finishing. Asr time.
Yeah.
Finishing.
Okay, guys. Don't want you to miss your asrs. I gotta pray as Zohar together, so I gotta run. Okay, so we gotta run. We gotta run, like literally run. I really wanna thank you for your patience and time. I really appreciate this. I must tell you that you are the reason I am carrying the torch of hope. I had given up. I swear I had given up. Okay? It is your pressure, your vigor, your zest and zeal that is giving me hope. There are no coincidences. Chance pe nahi ho raha, tukke pe nahi मैं डराया हूं. अल्लाह के यहाँ तुक्के नहीं हैं. दुनिया के कोने में मैं आ गया हूं और आप लोगों के सामने खड़ा हूं. ये तुक्का नहीं लगा हुआ. ओके? किसी वजह से आपको ये बातें सुनाई गई हैं, किसी वजह से मेरे मुंह से only Allah makes the tongue move. I can't even think unless Allah wants me to think, let alone speak. That requires a lot of muscles, you know. So I am leaving with hope, and I'm leaving with enough contentment that, you know what, as long as we delivered a certain message, it will have some echoes in our personal lives and hopefully our communal life. Hopefully.
And we need to be connected.
Communal life, yeah. That's, and if you're not connected, sorry, then you know what, we were just playing game with our own kids. If we're not connected for the sake of our kids, then we're not sincere with our own kids. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Thank you, everyone.
Sure.
Just wanted to say personally, thank you very much.